What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to GmiasWorld, and right now we're going to be talking Madden 24 and the possibility of EA Sports removing abilities. This is a rumor that's been heavily going around simply because they kind of, they reduced the amount of AP over the last week, and everybody's wondering, like, why are they doing what they're doing? It doesn't really make any sense, right? Nothing really is coming together, but it does actually make sense, and I'm going to tell you guys why, right? If EA Sports were to make two different games, if they were going to have two different modes, one without abilities and one with abilities, but also Ultimate Team, it would probably entice a lot of people that have issues with the abilities overall to buy the game. Now, let's just keep it real. If you're watching this video right now, you're buying Madden 24 no matter what. Like myself, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to buy it no matter what. So it's not, right now, it's not like it's a selling point. What I'm saying is this. A lot of you guys don't understand. Madden was a much better game without abilities. And even with Madden 20, when they introduced it, it wasn't as bad, but they went OP with it and started to allow everybody to get it instead of just the three players on offense and defense, right? So let me go ahead and break down the differences that could happen, and I want you guys to tell me what you prefer. Do you prefer a game with abilities or a game without abilities? So let's start off with something like, let's say the wide receiver position, right? Let's say, for instance, these attributes actually matter. Let's just imagine, use our imagination, no SpongeBob, right? Let's imagine that these attributes actually made sense, okay? And everything that you see right here would be the only thing that would influence your MUT player. Would you buy Madden 24? Yes or no? Because this is what Madden used to be. If you go back to Madden 13, I think Madden 13, which one was Calvin on? I think it was Madden 13 that Calvin was on the cover. It was one of those. I think it was Madden 13 because the next year was 25. But anyway, there was a year where Calvin Johnson, just regular Calvin Johnson, was OP and crazy. You know what I'm saying? It was really, really crazy and just outrageous. And you really wanted to have him on your squad because he was that good. A lot of that we've gone away from it, right? We've gone away from it to the fact where they introduced streak specialists in Madden 20 and then broke it down into deep out, deep in, deep this, deep that, me and your moms, deep out. Like, it became really, really stupid as they broke it down and separated it into different things. So I ask you, wouldn't it be something that you would be more enticed to play if you bought a card and that card didn't get nerfed, but his abilities always mattered, and EA Sports progressively increased it as the year went on, as opposed to getting a budget player that sucked, that got the same ability, and you can put him on the field and get the same result? Wouldn't that make a little bit more sense? I really do think that, Madden 24 without abilities would be a much better game overall. And again, the trade block may not come back as well, which would mean that, everything would be a lot more expensive. But if they gave us the value for what the card was, it wouldn't really matter. For instance, I just played a game, right, where the cornerback that I was going up against with Calvin was Brandon McManus, the punter from the Denver Broncos. True story. Check out my YouTube live stream, and you'll check it out, on GmiasWorld, whatever. If you're not watching it right now at GmiasWorld, go there and check it out. If you are at GmiasWorld, watch the previous live stream, and you'll see it. So I'm going to give you guys an example, right, of why I believe that they should just ultimately remove abilities. And you guys tell me if this makes sense. I'm going to show you guys the card right now that was just locking up Calvin Johnson. Now, the guy did rage quit, but it's not about that. What it's about is the fact that he was even able to lock me up to begin with. So this card right here, right, he was locking up Calvin. Now, look, hear me out. I know with, card boost and a lot of different things, you can make this card OP. He's 6'3", all right? He's going to have like a 99 zone with the right strat card, things like that. But he gets mid-zone and deep out like a real corner because of abilities, right? If you just let him play based on attributes like the older Maddens, would you prefer that or the ability to make him a superhero and give him abilities? This is what we have to try to figure out, because for me, I don't really care about the ability aspect, and the only reason that I go crazy about the abilities is because we have to make our players play. Our players play like complete morons if they do not have abilities. That's why everybody watching this video right now is like, yo, it kind of makes sense what he's saying, because if I don't put an ability on my player, he doesn't have a brain. But if they just made the attributes matter, and everybody played according to those things, nothing else would really correspond with the ability situation, and you would get the value of the card, which means that it would go back to cards being super expensive the way it was like in Madden 25. Keep in mind, I was never able to afford Michael Vick at any point in Madden 25. Was he a good card? Absolutely. That's why his price never changed. EA Sports said, hey, nobody's spending money to try to get Michael Vick, so why don't we just make it so that we nerf players so that prices do go down, and every time that we release a new player, they'll spend money. That had to be the logic, because soon after with Madden 16, you guys remember Madden 16 with the OBJ catch? The game was absolute garbage, but that was the first year where we started to notice, yo, my player's not playing the same way. And then you could run two-man under, send one, and zone everybody, and you had the best pass rush and the best defense. You guys remember Madden 16? It sucked. But listen, it's not about that. What I'm saying to you is this. The ability situation is still a major issue with it, right? You guys got to understand there's a lot that goes into making these attributes really, really matter. Now, I'm going to jump to the other side of the football on the defensive side, and we're going to talk about that. In Madden 20, I ran I believe it was 4-6 bear. I ran 4-6 bear, right? And the abilities for the most part actually worked because the pass rush and everything was predicated on if a player could actually pass rush, right? So let's take a look at Lawrence Taylor really quickly, right? If you look at these numbers and you have this card, you would assume that he's going to be getting a shed in most cases and that you would need a proper tackle to deal with him. Because in real life, this is the man that made the tackle famous. The left tackle, he made the left tackle like it was a glaring defect if you didn't have a good left tackle. Lawrence Taylor was responsible for that because he was running right into your backfield every single snap. With these numbers, right, with no abilities, wouldn't you pay whatever the price was to have him on your team? Just think about what I'm saying. If there were no abilities, because remember, even if your card doesn't have these attributes, you could slap on Edge Threat Elite and all the other crap and make them play identical to Lawrence Taylor. Wouldn't you be willing to spend more if he was more expensive, but his attributes actually mattered and abilities couldn't make a stupid bum play like him? That's what you have to consider for Madden 24. And I think that that's what the danger is and what people don't really get. And a lot of what's going on right now with everybody being very, very upset about the AP change and the possibility that EA Sports is going to remove abilities. Think about that though. Just think about the fact that if they were to actually remove it, how much better the game would be. Because if they take away the abilities and they take away the fact that you can have uneven teams and it like matches up, because they made it so that if your team was really, really good, I think it was like, it started like in 17, where if your team was really, really good and the other team was really, really bad, they would match it and take away your stamina and do weird stuff to your team so the other team could compete. It's really, really disgusting, a lot of the things that they've done. But just hear me out. If Madden 24 were to remove abilities completely, would that make you more excited to buy the game as opposed to them keeping abilities and making everybody on the defensive side of the ball be able to actually beat LT because of an ability? Let me know what you think about that and drop a like in the comments. You know, comment, like, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff. I'm going to see you guys and girls next time. One love, y'all.